Okay, so this is the first episode of the glitch analysis series for the Dynasty Warriors games. And I thought about making videos in Dynasty Warriors 3 first, but then I realized, you know what, Dynasty Warriors 2 has some other problems that I may want to talk about. But before I talk about the problems in the game, let's talk about something hidden in the game that not many people know about. It's in this battle, the Battle of Chibi, which is something that basically all players have seen before, but they were never really there because, you know, it's just part of a cutscene and people assume that you could never get there. But you can actually go there, and I want to show that a little bit of live commentary because I could make a script for a video like this. It's just not that fun. So okay, we're in the Battle of Chibi, which is the battle where Cao Cao fights against Sun Quan and Liu Bei. But the specific part that we wanna take a look at is Zhuge Liang's little house that he has on this battlefield, because in a cutscene we're probably not gonna see it because I'm gonna walk to the house immediately, but there is a cutscene where you can see the house where he's inside of preparing all of the stuff for the wind and everything, you know, and there's the building up there, like somewhere behind this, which is like kinda accurate, I guess. I don't know, like the placement is a little bit weird compared to where it is supposed to be, but once we go up here there should be trees nearby somewhere, and once we find those trees we're on the right track to finding Zhuge Liang's hidden building. Gonna take a moment because the last time I was here was a while ago. Okay, we got the trees and there it is. Sadly this thing doesn't have collision, so now we can't really go up there, and we have flying trees as you can see. But yeah, this is Zhuge Liang's secret building. Oh, we can go up. Okay, I didn't know that. I only went up with the horse, and apparently the horse walks through the objects. But yeah, this is the place where Zhuge Liang is gonna have his little preparation for the wind. And not many people know that this actually exists on the map. Like, I mean, I guess it's obvious that if a cutscene happens and it's rendered in-game, that the object has to exist somewhere in a reasonable distance, but still it's pretty interesting because you don't expect this game to have anything out of bounds, or at least anything that has this much detail added to it that you maybe see from like one angle. And I think if I remember this correctly, you see it from this angle, where Zhuge Liang is gonna be like right here preparing his stuff. I mean, maybe we're gonna see it, I don't know, I don't think so, because it's gonna take a long time for this to actually show up. Well, let's talk about these trees. They're very interesting. They're not at all connected to the ground, yeah. I mean, I guess the detail for the trees wasn't really, you know, in question, because who's ever gonna see this? I mean, we're gonna see it. But generally, while the game was still new, I think nobody ever saw this outside of the cutscene, so I guess it made sense to never really care about the placement. Let's see if the horse can go up here as well. Oh, it can, very nice. Makes it even worse to get up there because they never anticipated that the player would go up here, and you know, the camera is not really optimized for this, especially because they don't really have that many buildings where you go under something, except for gates, but that's like all of it. So yeah, this wasn't really optimized, so you basically get what you get. But it's very interesting, like they put a lot of detail into this, even though they didn't have to. But they really wanted to make this special, apparently. I mean, I guess this battle is what decided what the Three Kingdoms are gonna be like. Or at least it was like one of the more important battles that shaped what the Three Kingdoms would become. But I have to say, the Three Kingdoms didn't exist at that point. It took like 14 more years to even get to that point. But yeah, that's where the ceremony happens. And it's very unique. I think none of these textures are actually visible outside of this place. I think this is very, very unique to this one building. Well, and the tables are floating, but you wouldn't see that from the camera angle in the cutscene. But it's really cool. Like, probably something you haven't seen before. Let's see if I can even jump here. Okay, I can, because then we can see the roof a little bit better. And some textures are breaking. I mean, I guess that's the only major thing about this game, is that the textures sometimes break depending on where you are, but this is like pretty normal for games that were made like a quarter of a century ago. Now I made people feel old. But yeah, this looks really interesting, and I wish they would have actually had this as like a little area up here where you could like either walk up, or they made this like as like a little canyon where this would exist, and you could stop all of this, and there would be two armies on the Wu side, like the Shu people would be here and doing all of their stuff. That would have been pretty cool, because this kind of seems like wasted time to actually work on something like this and never actually put it into the game in the way that the player would see it with their own camera, not with the cutscene camera, because a cutscene camera is obviously a little bit different in this game. And I'm sure that they probably try to do something with this. I mean, it wouldn't be fully designed if they actually thought that nobody would see this. So maybe it was something that they built and then were like, oh yeah, let's reuse this maybe later on, or maybe we're gonna find some place for it, but then it didn't happen. Could be the case. I mean, a lot of stuff in games that is unused because they either couldn't put it into the game anymore, or within development it just didn't find its place even though it was planned for something. You know, there's stuff like that. That happens in game development, so maybe this already existed on an older version of the map and they were like, ah, it's fully designed, it looks pretty nice, let's at least keep it somewhere. But yeah, this is like one of the only interesting things you can find out of bounds, sadly. I mean, technically you could go further and further, thousands of miles into one direction, but that's probably not gonna do anything, because outside of this the game is pretty broken. So yeah, but this is like the only out of bounds discovery you can make in this game. But it's definitely a special one. Not many people know about this, and now you know. Always a few things you can learn about these games, and obviously the horses disappear. This is another issue that I'm gonna talk about in the conclusion video, where I'm gonna talk about everything at once. But yeah, it's like pretty sad and pretty interesting at the same time that this still exists. I mean, if this could have actually found its place on the battlefield and you could have prevented the fire attack and everything, would have been pretty cool. But yeah, I guess this is just a dream right now and not something that is actually like something that you could see in the game when you play. Otherwise, the trees that they placed here, I think you can't even see some of them in the cutscene. So it's literally like just stuff over here that you probably will never see if you either don't know how to get to this point, or if you just generally don't care enough about the game. That's like what most players do, I guess. Something that not many people find, because who would even go as far as trying to find this? I mean, it took a while to even find this once I found out about it, because I thought like, where could this be? I always thought it was like either on the top right or like the bottom right of the map, but it wasn't there, so it took a while to find this. But when I explored all of the maps myself, I found this, and it was a pretty interesting find, because you don't expect this game to have anything out of bounds, and then this happens. So you can imagine the first time I saw this, it was definitely a shock. Especially because Dynasty Warriors 2 isn't known for its complexity or unused content. I mean, technically it's used, I know it's used in a cutscene and everything, but it's not used like this, that you can go there, fight enemies there. It's not that way. That's the sad part about it. But maybe you can one day have a version of this where this will be added to the battlefield and not just hang around out here for 25 years before someone like walks upon it. I don't know. But okay, this should be the first video. I mean, I can't say too much about this because there's not much happening out here. There might be other videos where I say a lot more, but yeah, maybe this is something that you found interesting, maybe something you always asked yourself when you played the game, like where is this supposed to be, or can I even go there? I mean, with the right tools you can always go there, and you can see where it is on the map, so if you have the tools to do it, may as well visit this place. You could also visit it as Zhuge which is even funnier. It would be even funnier if you had a two-player mode and someone would actually go up here and then the cutscene happens and then there's like two Zhuge or there's Lu Bu standing up here. That would actually be very funny. But yeah, and that message was like, there was something broken, but yeah, there's like the small mistakes in this game that they made. It's like not a big thing, but yeah, this is like the biggest thing in this game that I can definitely show as the first thing. Especially because this is like something that is one of the few things in Dynasty Warriors 2 that you can actually see and know about and could actually wonder where it is. Because the other things that exist in the game are completely unused. Like the beta versions of the horses, or the second costume for Shahudun. I probably don't have like a way to show this, but just to have, you know, just to say this, to have this documented. But yeah, this is the first video, and I hope you learned something, and the next video is also going to be very interesting, just like all of the other videos that I have planned. So yeah, maybe give your video a like, maybe subscribe for more of these videos where we analyze stuff in Dynasty Warriors that not many players know about. And yeah, bye bye. Okay, welcome to the next episode of the glitch analysis or something like that. I don't know what I'm gonna call it. This is recorded before I gave this series a name. today we're gonna take a look at something special. Like, you're probably wondering what the title is going to say, because I've already planned what I'm gonna show, but not exactly what the title is gonna be. But I'm probably gonna call it something like 1 byte combo, or 1 byte of combo, something like that. This is actually interesting because the combo values are stored in bytes in this game. So you basically have 255 different values after 0. So the combos are getting counted from 0, like not having attacked an enemy at all, to 1, 2, 3, 4, which are not getting shown on screen. Then you have the 5th one, and the 5th combo is going to be shown on screen. And if you hit an enemy 255 times, this should be the maximum of combo you can do, which will always give you the highest amount of stuff you can get from an enemy. Could be a life full, could be Muso full, could be whatever exists. Even if they drop like permanent items, you already get the maximum from them, which is capped at +8, which you can already get at a combo of 24. Which is very hard to reach, because this game is very simple when it comes to the attacks, and keeping enemies in the air is not really the easiest thing, so I don't know if I can even show how easy it is to get to 255 or above that. But what I want to specifically show is that in this game it's kept at 99, at least that's what some people would think that have reached the maximum. The visuals are kept at 99, but it can go up all the way to 255, and then something interesting happens. Because it's only a 1 byte value, this means at 255 it loops to 0. So it's like as if you've never attacked them before. And that's an interesting thing about these games, because you usually don't get to see this. The maximum is always like at a point that should not be reachable within like certain parts of the game, unless you're like really dedicated. I mean, it's probably impossible in the modern games, because it's probably kept at like something like 2 billion, so you might not get that. But yeah, let's try it. I don't know which character would be the best for it, but let's try it with this guy.
Are you truly prepared?
I don't know if I'm prepared. Let's just see if this is gonna work, because the problem is sometimes the allies are a bit weird. Sometimes they become a little bit broken when you attack the enemy in a weird way. The enemies can also become like broken as well. If you hit them too much, they just break and they just walk away and don't even know how to attack anymore until they reach a certain spot in their pathfinding. So, you know, you can break them pretty hard in this game, and this is like not even an understatement. Like, yeah, this is probably something that I'm also gonna show. Now the question is, how do we get to 255 and above? I mean, usually in this game, if you combo the enemy, you would do it this way. And you see the combo counter, it goes up. And it's kept at 99, but the problem is, you see, sometimes the enemy falls too far away from you, and then you're just not gonna get to them anymore. Makes it basically impossible to combo them forever. There is an easy way, and I think I can do this, but it's gonna take a moment, because you would have to aim really well if there would be any enemies. Because if you use the horse, you can actually aim in such a way that you can throw the enemy towards a corner. Maybe I should have deactivated the walk through walls cheat to make this work. Maybe I should have done this. But I mean, if I get the enemy in the air, this should work. They wouldn't block all of it. Sometimes the bodyguards are not as useful as they seem. Okay, that's the reason why it wouldn't make sense to combo them into a wall, because there is no collision. So he's probably falling for eternity now. Okay, so this is the difficult part. To combo them, you would probably need a wall, because the easiest way is to just use the horse. So let's just try that for a moment. Let me just... okay. And there's the visuals again. Very nice. Okay, so now we should not be able to walk through walls, and it should be possible to just combo an enemy into a corner, and then... Now I'm prepared, because now I know what I'm getting into. But yeah, if you would get them into a corner, for some reason the horse always throws up the enemy. But it can happen that if it touches the ground, because it only has like a specific amount of time before they become invisible, but it only counts down when they hit the floor. So the thing is, if they are in the air, they cannot despawn. They can only despawn when they touch the ground, or at least they have to touch the ground for a certain amount of time before they can't be picked up anymore. That's made because you would have to combo in the game to get better stuff, and if they would just disappear, it just wouldn't work properly. Okay, so to get one of them over there, we would probably need to get them against the wall first, which is a little bit harder than it might look, especially because I don't want them. Don't want to push them to the left. Okay. Problem is that whenever they touch the ground, they disappear a little bit, so we should hit them with the full combo. And that should probably allow us to get at least to 99. But if it's just like one value that goes away, I think that the time that makes them disappear is stored in a float, probably, to make it a little bit more predictable. But yeah, this is like how far up the number always goes. Problem is, if it disappears completely, you're not gonna get any combos out of them anymore. But I don't want to use the Muso attack for it, because this stops the horse at the end and this makes it disappear faster. But there you go. This is the 99 limit that you get. But since the value is not infinite, at some point it's gonna stop working. And the point when it's gonna stop working is 255, or in other words, the value of 0. And it stopped, but okay. You get what I mean, like, the combo would disappear just like that if you hit 255, which is not that easy with the horse, because the enemy's still gonna despawn. So I would probably have to do this in a very specific way. I mean, it would be the easiest to do that with enemies that are far away from me. But the moment an enemy attacks me, it's probably going to destroy the combo. Not because combos from the enemy destroy my combo, it's just because like they interrupt my character for just that little bit of a moment that it's not gonna work anymore. And especially because if I don't combo them right, they're just gonna fall to the ground. Sadly, comboing enemies is not easy in this game, because the weapons are very small. And we don't have the proper attacks to keep them in the air long enough. In the third game it's a lot easier, and that's probably where I can also show it like in the first try, because it's like a very simple idea in that game, because you have the perfect attacks for it that always keep the enemy high in the air, and it's a longer combo than normally. Very concentrated. Nobody got domed. Now some people would say it would be easier using a spear. But most characters that have long weapons have very weird hitboxes that won't allow me to do this. And because I can only hit 2 times, it's gonna make it even more stressful. Because usually the third attack would keep them in the air. But he also has a weird hitbox, just like everything else in this game. Kinda why I like it, because this game is so weird. If you know how to play it, you're definitely gonna have the craziest adventure of a lifetime in this game. Oh no. Okay, he went away. Just a little bit more, we're almost there. As you can see, the allies, they're trying to take this away from me. The allies are about as much enemies as the guy that I'm currently destroying. We're about to be there. What's gonna happen is the animation of the combo thing is gonna stop, and then it's back to 0. We did it. We just did it. This is what's gonna happen in every single game up to Dynasty Warriors 5. I'm probably not gonna show it in the 5th game because it's gonna become old very quickly. It's just gonna be interesting in this game because it doesn't have a counter that goes all the way up to 255, visually at least. And the 3rd game has one that goes up visually. And the 4th game is interesting because it's one of the easiest ones to get 255. So, you know, that's the point. Why I'm gonna show it in all those 3 games instead of everything or just once. I'm not gonna show the limit in Dynasty Warriors 6 probably because that's where it probably has a limit of 2 billion, so we're probably gonna be a bit longer than 14 minutes in this. Probably like 1,000 hours. I'm not gonna do that. But okay, we did it. This is 1 bite in combos. So basically 255 hits. And once you hit it 1 more, the combo disappears. Okay, this is the 2nd episode. And yeah, I hope you liked it. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to see more of these videos. And I have a lot more planned for all the games up to Dynasty Warriors 9. So yeah, be sure to not miss that. It's gonna be an interesting one, especially when you're interested in glitches or other stuff that has something to do with breaking games. Okay then, bye bye. Okay. Welcome to the next episode of the Glitch Analysis series. Yeah, I named it that way now. I don't know why. This is going to be an interesting one because it's not going to showcase anything specific on the maps or some kind of weird broken stuff or anything like that. We're just going to play a stage, but in a different way that most people are used to. I could select any of these.
I am the mightiest man alive.
You're not. But I could select any of them. But it doesn't really matter, because what I have selected, if it's gonna work, it's not gonna be Lobo. It's gonna be someone else. A character that you usually could not get from this selection. Something that most people that played this game actually dreamed of, if they actually cared enough about this game. Let's see if it's gonna work. If it's not gonna work, it's gonna take a moment for me to fix that. Okay, that crashed the game. That's very bad. Okay, another try. Maybe it's gonna work this time. I'm not so sure because
I am the mightiest man alive.
it could break at any moment again. A very special game. But maybe it's not gonna break. Maybe I don't have to restart the emulator again. Because it would be really nice to show that. I mean, a lot of cool stuff going on in this game that you usually don't see. But I expect it to crash at any moment now. And it won't, but it's not exactly what I selected. And the visuals broke again. There you go. Okay, everything is broken. Everything is broken. But that makes it even better. So I'm playing a crossbow guy who doesn't even know how to hold a crossbow, who just punches people with it, or rather with his... He can't even attack. That is the weirdest thing I've ever seen, and I'm gonna keep that. That's perfect. That is perfect. I've never seen anything better than this. I cannot attack anyone except for like this. This is so dumb. He's holding the crossbow like he's holding like bread or something like that. He's gonna be like, yeah, I'm gonna bring the bread home today. Okay, this is the best thing. Like, it's literally 2 AM and this is the stuff I am allowed to see. Okay, this is so stupid. And the way he's moving. Oh, this is perfect. And you can't even open the stuff. Okay, this is just so good. Because sometimes you actually break the game very bad. And if it doesn't crash, you can do so many funny things with it. Like, I have this one video on my channel. I mean, it says I uploaded it this year, but it's not true. I uploaded it like 3.5 years ago, but I never published it. So I played Huaqiao, and for some reason when you use external programs and not the internal PlayStation 2 emulator stuff, it actually breaks more than you probably think it does. And that's why Changjiao looked like he was completely made out of random colors. Because sometimes you break very, very specific things by just changing a simple value, which is stupid, but it happens. Especially if you don't know what you're doing. But this... If this guy was hired, he should have been fired the first day. Because he doesn't know what a crossbow is. Especially even if I do this, he's probably not even going to use the crossbow because it doesn't look like he's using it. I mean, the way he's holding it, it says everything. Like, and I didn't even like made the game do this in the way that how he's holding it. Like, I only changed what character I wanted to use, but the way it broke is just so perfect. Look, I have a crossbow, I'm so cool, I don't know how to use this thing, but I'm holding it. This is like stuff that I could do all day long, because I've broken these games in like 1,000 different ways already. And this is just another way that I haven't broken it before. Even though this is very simple compared to how I broke it before. It's the little things that make these games amazing. because you don't expect this to happen. Like, he holds this crossbow like he holds bread after he bought it from the bakery. He doesn't know what he's doing here. He's just here because he can. It's just so amazing. I mean, I could probably fix this and make it look normal and just work normal and everything, but it's not gonna be as fun, you know? It's not gonna be as fun. Especially because this looks a million times better than what I had planned. I actually wanted to use the peasant, which has a really weird range at the end of his Musou attack that can just destroy everything around him. Like, for some reason, the normal guys, the little peasants, wherever they are, show them, they are the most overpowered thing in this game. You might not think that, but if you play as them, they are gods. Especially with their Musou attacks, because usually they attack very slow and they're very weak, and then you activate their Musou attack and they're really fast and destroy everything. You know, like these guys, but when they have their sword, they're like gods. Because for some reason, this moveset is so good when you use the Musou attack. It breaks all the rules in this game. I mean, I can't even attack anyone with this guy, so it's probably a little bit less impressive. But I think we're not aiming for impressive if we're trying to break the game. We're trying to go for funny and unexpected, which this is. It's perfect. And I think I'm gonna leave it at that, just have him stand there like this, you know. I call it confused guy who doesn't even know what's going on. Yeah, so this is probably the stuff you can expect from a lot of things in this series. Especially the later games, when stuff is gonna break in ways you can't even imagine. But yeah, this is the episode where I could have showed a lot of things, where a lot of things could have happened, and this is what happened. Unpredictable, could have been a million different things, probably a billion different things, because this is a 32-bit value, so a lot of things could have been different. But yeah, I hope you liked this episode. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up, and maybe subscribe if you want to see more of this crazy stuff. So yeah, bye bye. I just couldn't get myself to click on start and select, because this is just perfect. So we're gonna do the conclusion with this character, because I have nothing more to add to this game, because it's just not that broken if you don't hack the game. That's the point. Like, I don't know what to do, because there is no glitches in this game that you can force to happen unless you're cheating in the game. There's nothing else out of bounds to show. There might be some visual stuff, like some things might not be perfectly aligned, there might be a little bit of visual bugs that happen. Like, they're pretty normal in games, especially older games or games that people made that are not as experienced. So yeah, the only thing I can say is that many things in this game might not appear as beautiful as the newer games. Maybe the budget wasn't that high because maybe they didn't have that much money back then. Maybe it's also because it wasn't required to have good looking games. Back then gameplay mattered more than graphics. So I guess this is the point, because the water here looks like really weird jelly. Especially because like one stream moves this way, one stream moves that way, the underground stream, or maybe it's the reflection, I don't know. So it's visually not impressive. I mean, the character designs are a little bit more detailed than the surroundings, but that's basically it. So you don't have that much detail in this game. It's not meant to have that much detail. Dynasty Warriors is always focused on gameplay rather than graphics. so you also have that going for the game when it comes to gameplay. It's usually the point that I make when I talk about newer games, is graphics are not important if the gameplay is good. In this game, thousands of hours. So some people would think it's crazy to invest thousands of hours into this game, but it is a simple version of playing Dynasty Warriors that's not too complex, easy to understand, and just follows the basic rules of what the game is supposed to be. That makes the game very good to play, very easy to understand, and the battles are not that demanding. You can play it just for fun, and it's not even bad to play it just for fun, because it is still a very good game. It is the basics, the core of the Dynasty Warriors series, and basically every single Warriors game that has ever been made. If you play Hyrule Warriors, Fire Emblem Warriors, whatever else exists, One Piece Pirate Warriors, Samurai Warriors, Warriors Orochi, even like some weird versions like Fate, Samurai, whatever the name of the game was, stuff like that. All of this only happened because of this game, so, you know, maybe we should respect the game on that level if we're not doing it for the graphics or any of the designs, you know? Because this game brought an entire genre into this world. That's the most important part about this game. But because it is that easy to play and has very simple mechanics that everyone can understand if you play the game for like 2 hours, that means the game is pretty good, easy to understand. A lot of time you can play in this game, a lot of time you can spend understanding it. There's a lot of stages, there's a lot of characters. Like I said, it might not be visually impressive, but that's not the point. The game doesn't aim to be visually impressive, it aims to be nice at the gameplay. Not too difficult, just generally introducing a new game series. That's kind of what the point was. And since it was a very special game back then, many people liked it, and it was also like the reviewers and also the previewers said it's going to be a very big thing, and it was. It did become a very big thing. And it's still a big thing. Still something that people play, still something that people like, even though I don't like the newest game, in my opinion. And things like that wouldn't happen in the newer games, to have this guy. Yeah, Crossbow Peter over here has no idea what he's doing. I mean, he was trying to buy bread, instead he got like a crossbow. Those are the funny things that you can always get. You never know how this game is gonna break if you change some values. I mean, the game wouldn't usually break like this. There are no glitches in this game that happen that are game breaking. It's a very solid game. Like, the programmers that made this game probably put a lot of effort into optimizing the game rather than adding stuff. That's why the game sometimes feels a little bit slow and boring and not enough content in it and stuff. But if you look behind the scenes, the graphics that we have here were all finalized in April 2000, early April 2000. So the early beta phase, where these textures were added, was already the phase where they mostly focused on just fixing stuff, making the game better, changing stuff, balancing stuff. So the game had a lot of time being developed in like something that works, something that just functions correctly. And that was the main part of the idea. You make a game that's not too visually impressive, but you put a lot of effort into the insides of the game, basically. And after the textures were finalized, there was probably not a lot they could have done, because all of the stages were already built, the story was already there, the characters were there, the voice lines were probably already there. So what could they have done in the last like 3 months between like April and July? Because like the game was finished on the 4th of July 2000, so you definitely have a lot of time to fix stuff. 3 months for a game like this is probably a lot, especially since even the demo version, the Japanese demo version of it, was compiled in June 2000, so about 2.5 weeks before the final build. And in this version I cannot find any visual problems that didn't already exist in the release. The only issue that the demo version actually has is that, like this, when you charge up your attack, like your charge, you charge up the bow and then you have the strong arrow. If I mash the button, it still shoots the arrow. In the demo, it would charge up indefinitely if I would mash the button. You know, like if I would click it very fast, it would not shoot the arrow. It's the only bug I was able to find in the demo version, even after like 100 hours of testing. Yeah, call me crazy if I spend 100 hours in a demo version. Might as well call me crazy on that one because it's only one stage. But yeah, that's the only difference. So you definitely see that there's like a lot of stuff that was done in these 3 months that didn't like do stuff for the gameplay. And the effort that was put into the game is also like incredible, because I assume the development started either in late 1999 or very early 2000, somewhere in January, because the videos that exist of it, like the pre-release footage, there are a few pictures and videos from March 2000, and that's when the alpha textures were used. So basically, instead of having all of these different colors, like the purple army, the yellow army, red, green, blue, yellow armies, you know, like all of this, that didn't exist before. You had random colors. They had very different designs, and I think they don't exist in the game anymore. I didn't look that far into this stuff, but they looked very interesting, and the stuff is still somewhere on YouTube. I'm probably gonna put a link into the description so that all of you can see what the game used to look like before it got these textures. The only thing you can basically see in these videos is that the textures have changed, the game runs a little bit better, and that's basically it. So generally the maps are mostly the same, some placements are different, and that's about it when it comes to like the changes. So the game was finalized very early on, or at least most of the things were finalized. So I guess my point is that this game wasn't made to be one of the games that are put on the list of like incredibly good looking games. It never aims for that, and no Dynasty Warriors ever aimed for that. It aimed for the balancing to work, because if you fight like 1,000 enemies at once, you're not gonna fight every single individual enemy, you're gonna fight many of them at once. Some people would say that Dynasty Warriors could be a little bit more difficult. The problem is most people play on easy that say that. I'm not gonna say anything else about that. But then the idea of making Dynasty Warriors into a Souls-like was also not the greatest idea, because that kinda destroys the purpose of Dynasty Warriors, because Dynasty Warriors was never a game that was supposed to be perceived as too difficult. It was supposed to be a game that did its thing, and you just had fun playing a game, being one guy in an army that was a little bit stronger than the other guys. You know, that was kind of the point of Dynasty Warriors, and many people miss this point a lot because they think that the game has to be different. If you don't like the games, play something else. Don't bother the other people that like the game. That's what I have to say. But yeah, take it as you want. I don't mind if you like the newer games. I think some of them are nice as well. But if we're talking about this game, it's the most important thing ever. Because without this game, no one would play this game. Without this game, I wouldn't be here making videos about it. So I guess that's what we gotta respect about this game. It brought the entire thing to life. Even though technically there was already one game before that. It was Dynasty Warriors 1. But we're not gonna talk about that game. It is unique. I don't even know what would happen if I would charge up the Muso attack. Let's try that for a moment, because I think I'm done with my monologue. I want to see how broken this is gonna look. This looks so stupid. Okay, yeah, this guy has no idea what he's doing. But yeah, Dynasty Warriors 2. A very nice game, very solid choice if you just want to play some old games. No, it's not retro. Retro is everything from like the early 90s and before. This is old school gaming. But yeah, the game is nice, the music is nice, I like the voice acting, it's very stupid. That's very good. Like, not all the games have to be serious and realistic. Sometimes they can also be unrealistic and stupid. I mean, that's what makes games memorable. If you just have realistic games, they're all the same. I've played like 3 different realistic games. I cannot tell you the difference besides the name. and that's the reason why I stay with Dynasty Warriors 2 and also with 3 and 4. Because they're just the basics. If you want to play nice Dynasty Warriors games, those are the best ones. You can't go better than that. Every game after that is in some way a downgrade. I know graphically they might be an upgrade, but that might be your opinion, not my opinion. Yeah, so that's a conclusion. There is not really anything else to talk about. One day I'm probably gonna make more videos about this, because you know, maybe there's people out there that like this game as much as I do, or are at least interested in the game. I have a Discord server you can join. Maybe we can talk about this game. Maybe we'll find some game-breaking glitches in this game if you want us, if you have the time for it. I'm always up for that, because it's one of my favorite games. So I gotta try to, you know, find something new. Like this guy. Yeah, there's nothing else to find right now. Maybe there's gonna be another video. I definitely have another video planned on Dynasty Warriors 2, but that's not gonna be at least like in the next 2 months. So just don't wait for that, because the next one in this series is gonna be the first Dynasty Warriors 3 video, and it's gonna be a little bit different because that game is broken. So yeah, be prepared for that by subscribing. You're gonna see the video very soon. And yeah, maybe give a thumbs up on this video so that I know that you like this mini series on Dynasty Warriors 2. Maybe there's gonna be something new to talk about, because these don't like stop after the conclusion. There can be more videos once I find something. But I want to have all of the things documented right now that I know about this game, just to be able to like refer people to this, like say, okay, you can look at this. This is what I found. I've already talked about this. That's kind of the idea. But if there's gonna be new stuff, I'm gonna talk about it. Probably not gonna be something in a while. But if you're interested to play this game with me and just talk about all of this stuff, maybe you know something that I don't know, and then there's gonna be a new video. So yeah, hope you liked the video, and Dynasty Warriors 3 is gonna be the next. Bye bye. Okay, welcome to another episode of the Dynasty Warriors Glitch Analysis series, where we look at all of the glitches and bugs and all of the other crazy stuff in the game. Today we're in a very special version. We're in the demo version, specifically the Japanese demo version, from about 2 weeks before the final game, so it's a little bit more broken, I guess. but it still looks and works basically the same way. But we're gonna look at one of the little bugs in the game, not really a glitch I guess, but I mean it's between a bug and a glitch I guess. So we're just gonna select Chow Yun because technically we only have 3 characters and he's like the easiest one to select for this one. So yeah. So it's basically just one stage for 15 minutes that you can play. It's the Hulao Gate stage. And that's basically everything you have. What's important to know about this demo specifically, like don't be fooled by the demo version thing with like, oh, this is only a little bit of the game. No, this is like actually a prototype of the game that has one little bit, like literally the unit of like an eighth of a byte is flipped to a 1, and that's why there is a demo mode activated. You could technically also activate that in the normal Dynasty Warriors 2, but it isn't activated there. So technically you can do it in the release versions as well to make this demo version, but you could also make this demo version into a playable game. I don't know how to do that. If I could, I would definitely find a lot more bugs and glitches, and I would show all of them as well. But that's not the case right now. But let's get into the game. It's a very small bug or glitch, I guess, but it's still notable and I wanted to show it, even though before I didn't want to show it, but I was like, maybe you can show it because it's still gonna be interesting, because you know, you basically start with nothing, like as if you would just play it for the first time, normal difficulty and stuff. And maybe you remember when I tried to use the bow and just did this, and it looks like it works normally. But when I actually start to mash the triangle button, it doesn't shoot the arrow. That was fixed in the release version, but I can't shoot any arrows. The funny thing is, in the European version there's also a glitch with this. Because you don't even need infinite arrows to get infinite arrows in the European version, because for some reason the PAL versions are so broken when it comes to arrows. You need one arrow, and if you activate your Muso, technically if you had infinite Muso, you would basically have infinite arrows for the duration of your arrow Muso attack, which is very interesting. So instead of horses being completely glitched in this game, it seems like it's the arrows or the bow that are completely glitched. Let me just do... okay, wrong button I guess, there. It's definitely very funny, like this is one of the few glitches that I have seen in this game that are different from the main game. But that's only because, like, yeah, this version is from 2 weeks before the final build, so obviously there's gonna be a few more problems that you're not gonna find in the final version. But it's still a notable one. That's the reason why I wanted to show the demo as well, because, like, this is a unique version in that case. This is technically the oldest available Dynasty Warriors 2 version you can get. And it's like from a little demo disc. You can probably find that somewhere on the internet. And it's a very nice thing. There's also some other demo discs that have like footage from, not really the game, but like the first trailer of the game ever from February 2000. It was pretty cool what you can find. And well, this is one of the bugs that exist in this game. If you just mash the triangle button, you can't shoot arrows. It's a very small one, I know, but the demo version also deserves some attention, even if I can't do much in this version because of the demo restrictions. But this is technically the full game. You just need to activate, or basically deactivate the demo mode, activate the full game. It's one of those rare moments, because technically all the other demo versions don't have that. They're literally just small little versions taken from some version at that time. I mean, there is a few demo versions that are actually prototypes, like the Dynasty Warriors 3 demo that is a very early localization version of the English version, but that's one of the rare cases where we actually have a demo that's different from the final game. I mean, yeah, the Dynasty Warriors 1 demo also counts, but that one is missing its ending cutscenes. So basically Dynasty Warriors 1 was finished in December 1996, but you still didn't have all of the footage and many things weren't mastered properly yet, so the last like 35 days of the development was just video stuff. But yeah, this is the small glitch or bug that I found in this version. It's not a lot, but it's still interesting to show that because most people don't even know about this. So very nice to show that. Yeah, if you like this, give it a thumbs up, maybe subscribe if you want to see more. There's gonna be another video about this game soon. And yeah, I'll see you in the next episode. Bye bye. Okay, welcome to the Dynasty Warriors Glitch Analysis series, where we look at all the glitches and bugs and all of the other interesting out-of-bounds stuff and whatever else exists in the game that's broken. And today we're gonna look at something interesting. There is a glitch in Dynasty Warriors 2 that is actually a broken glitch that is not supposed to happen in a way where you could access parts of the battlefield that you were not supposed to access in that way. Like on the horse, at the Yellow Turban Rebellion, you're not supposed to walk up the mountain with the horse. You're basically blocked at a specific spot. Let's just go there really quickly. We'll just take this character because that's a character I actually played the most in this battle. So that's also the first time I encountered that glitch. Though sadly, I have to say it the way it is, I don't know how to do that glitch. It is the only glitch in this game that I have no idea about, but since it happened to me and to some other people that have said there is this glitch where they remember walking up the mountain with a horse, I should at least talk about it, because obviously if it didn't just happen to me, it can obviously not just be a coincidence that it worked. So there had to be some reason why it happened. I mean, I can't tell you exactly why it happens. I just know that it can happen. So we basically just need a horse and we need to get there. So let me just hide all of them. I know I'm on the hard difficulty, but you know, while I talk, why not show some gameplay instead of just standing around or waiting in some screens. So basically it's at the point where basically the mountain starts, but like up there where Changbao is located, where the wind would usually be. And for some reason, either it's a specific spot or it's a specific invisible wall that you need to activate or deactivate. And if you do that, for some reason you can walk up the mountain, you can glitch through the invisible wall. And it doesn't happen by like getting hit by an arrow and the horse walks through the invisible wall. This doesn't work because it's technically an invisible wall that only exists for the horse. Like while your character is on the horse, it doesn't have a specific effect on the character. So it obviously has to be the hitbox of the horse, and it's not specifically bound to any kind of situation where the player gets knocked off. It's not exactly the way it works. I mean, my assumption would be, okay, you probably have to walk to some other invisible wall or whatever. But at the moment it's just assumptions, because this glitch exists but nobody really knows how it works. Maybe someone knows, maybe you can comment that and maybe explain it in a slightly detailed way, or maybe just like, you know, give the information like you know it yourself. Maybe it's also not perfect, but maybe someone has information about this glitch that I don't have, because I couldn't find any videos. So either it's incredibly rare, or it Or it is so specific that you can't even predict how to do that. But we're about to be at the place, so I can talk about it in a more understandable way, I guess, if you don't know about the glitch. So basically, over here, just like on the other side, when you try to walk up here, you see this like do not enter. You have this thing with the horse. It's not like in Dynasty Warriors 3 where you can just walk up there, you know, or just walk around some corners and then hope you glitch through it. Like, that's not gonna happen in this game for some reason. Because, like, I don't know, they probably had some different hitboxes here. And there's not really like a little pixel where you can just walk through. So, yeah, technically it's impossible to get up there without hacks. But it happened legitimately to people, so there has to be a way to get up there. I mean, I had a few ideas, maybe like if you just touch this invisible wall and then immediately turn around without touching any other walls, maybe that will work. But that was just an assumption, and I can tell you that it's not gonna work. Because it's not like one wall is unloaded while the other one is loaded. Well, technically yes, but like not in the way that it would make this work. But you can see the character can walk up there, and the moment you cross this invisible barrier for the horse, this happens. Which is not specifically bad, because technically that could also help you. The question is just, what does it have to do with the glitch? Because you see, getting knocked off didn't help the horse. It also didn't help the character. And you can't really push the horse. Well, technically you could push the horse, but I don't think it's gonna push it through the invisible wall. I mean, we could try that. We just have to take the horse and move it to a place where another horse is, because, you know, they like to despawn in this game very quickly. So we basically have to keep them in the visible area. So just because we turn away, it should not delete the horse. But if this doesn't do it, then I have no idea. I mean, I know how some of the things work in this game, but since there are no real glitches in this game like that, you can basically already assume that there is not much I can do with this. Because there's like no comparison to anything. I know that this game is broken in some other ways, but it's not broken in the way the hitboxes work, so it was made pretty well. Especially because like they had like 3 months of just polishing the game. So obviously it would become a very good game. But each and every single game has their problems. Interesting. I don't know if that worked. Nope, it did not work. But we pushed the horse through it technically, but also not. So yeah, you can see you can't push it through it, so it's an invisible wall for the horse specifically. But even if you wanted to, you couldn't push it through there, and a third horse is also not gonna do it. It's very interesting, and apparently now you can't push the horse around anymore. I don't know exactly what else to do here. This already looks so crazy. But that's basically the extent of what I can do in this game. There's nothing beyond that. Like, I can't help with anything else besides that. There's no wiggling around and hoping that you walk through the invisible wall. And technically, right at this spot where the wind basically stops is where the invisible wall for the horses is. So you can see that it's very specifically selected for that. And also this is another glitch. But it's basically not really a glitch. I guess it's an exploit that you can use. You can just heal and continue. But yeah, there is not really any way to get the horse through there, or not very far. I mean, yeah, technically it's already through, but the horse is gonna be like, no, I'm not on the other side. It looks funny how you glitch around on the horse, but that's basically it. So at some point the game knows what you're doing and you can't really change anything about it. Really sad, because I actually wanted to show a lot of stuff that you can do in this game, but yeah, it doesn't really work the way. Yeah, even if you get shot off the horse, you cannot do anything. The horse is not gonna get through. Even if you activate the Muso attack, nothing is gonna work. I mean, I know how this works because I have memories of this moment where I went up here and the horse went about as far as like the spot up there where like the second step is before you get all the way up there. So yeah, I remember being up here with the horse. Right here. So there's definitely a way to do it, but the problem is just that it is probably either something very specific or something that requires a lot of preparation for the glitch, because it's not just done like that. It's not as easy as it is in Dynasty Warriors 3. This game is polished pretty well, so you're not just gonna glitch somewhere where you're not supposed to be. Well, unless you do what I just did, but that doesn't count as a glitch. It's technically something that gets encouraged if you don't want to go around the other side. But it's obviously not something that most players do on their first playthrough. Even I didn't do that, not because I didn't know how to do it, it was my first playthrough. I think anyone who played this didn't just push through there. Maybe some people did, but they probably didn't know exactly why they were doing that. Because most people who start playing these games have no idea what they're doing. And that's how the wind stops. I think that doesn't change anything, but technically we could still try it without the wind. Maybe, okay, it wouldn't work anyways because we don't have a horse. I mean, we can change that. Let me just press a button really quick. If I click into the screen, okay, it doesn't work anymore. It doesn't have the hotkeys selected. Okay, then we're not gonna speed up the gameplay, I guess. But we can get another horse just around here. And then we can see if the invisible wall is gone, because I don't want to have to go back here 20 times. I would like to, you know, if I revisit this glitch, I would like to be able to actually do this glitch. That would be my idea. That didn't work that well. But it doesn't matter. It's Dynasty Warriors 2, so it's not very difficult. It's just that you're working with just the basics. And a little bit of gameplay of Dynasty Warriors 2 has also never been a bad thing. It'll just take a moment for the Muso to charge up. And that's it. That was a lot of hits at once. That's something in this game that also works very nice. You know, you can basically hit them a lot of times with the Muso attacks, because for some reason the hitboxes are very simple in this game. So with some attacks you can hit them even like twice, sometimes up to 3 times, and then there are characters where you could hit them like 10 times with one hit. Which is very crazy, but that works in this game. It's some hitboxes are very, very, very broken. And that's basically about most of the broken things in this game, because it's a very polished game. It doesn't look very polished, and if they are going to make a remaster of this game, it would be one of the best games ever. But yeah, that's probably not gonna happen that way. But yeah, as you can see, the invisible wall is still there. And even if I would probably try the same thing again with like not hitting anything after touching that invisible wall, it's probably also not gonna do anything, because obviously the assumption would be, okay, if I move this way to like a specific space, and then maybe the wall is going to be like 90 degree, yeah, it's not gonna be 90 degree flipped. It's not gonna be that easy. So yeah, it's a glitch I can't do. I don't really know how to do that, because people just talk about, yeah, there used to be this glitch where you could walk up that mountain, but it doesn't happen. And the wall over here is also basically the same. It's not that broken. And it's also one of the earliest things that probably most people thought about, like how could I get up there with a horse? I still remember that stuff like so many years ago when I saw this. Technically decades ago. And yeah, no way to get up there except for this one random glitch that exists but nobody knows how to do. Unless someone else has information on this and it could explain that. But otherwise, maybe I'm gonna revisit this, but until I find out how to do it, I probably won't make another video about this glitch specifically. But there is a glitch here somewhere hidden. So yeah, maybe someone will find it one day, after like 25 years of this game existing. But yeah, that's it for this episode. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up, maybe subscribe if you want to see more. And or maybe also join my Discord server. Maybe we can talk about this glitch, maybe we can even find out how this glitch works. I have a lot of time to find out some glitches, so yeah. Maybe I'm gonna see you in another episode about this glitch. Bye bye. Okay, welcome to the Dynasty Warriors glitch analysis series, and today I have a very special video because yeah, I know it's in the German version. I just chose that one because it works in every version, but let me just explain to you. This is crazy because I didn't think that I would find this today. You know, I was planning ahead and I was like, okay, maybe I will try it, you know. It randomly happened. So you remember the horse glitch that we were talking about in the last video? The glitch I couldn't do. You remember that one? You know, the glitch that just did not work. Because it's not actually really a glitch. It's just how the AI behavior in the game works. And that's how you, or not you specifically, but the AI itself can go behind invisible walls. So the horse glitch that many people know, I know that it's not exactly the glitch that many people know, and it's not exactly what happened to me back then when I played this. But what I mean is, when you don't, you know, when you're not in contact with an invisible wall, you can actually let the AI walk through it on horse, and then you just have to wait until they fall off the horse. So we're just gonna do that. It's gonna take a while, so I'll just see you when we're there. Okay, there it is. I finally got it. That's Heijin's horse, and he left it for some reason. He fell down, but he left it behind the invisible wall, because for some reason when I don't touch the invisible wall with the horse, it doesn't exist. So only when the symbol appears over my character, you can actually only interact with the invisible wall then. And as you can see, we glitch up the surfaces. Maybe that's the reason why you can't walk up there. It is very broken, as you can see. No wonder why they wouldn't let us up here with horses, because it's not intended to be the thing. But let's just go around all of these areas in a way that's not intended. But something else that I wanted to say, that I will definitely show at the end of the video. There is unintended behavior with items when a cutscene happens. I don't know if it's specifically this version or any other version, because I literally just found out while recording this. It is actually possible to pick up items from the horse. Like, you don't even need a cheat code for that. It actually works, because the moment you're hovering over an item and a cutscene happens, you actually pick up items, and it happened twice in this video. And I don't understand how. Like, why does that happen? And as you can see, we glitch around a lot, and it's actually very fun to do that, because it's just not intended, and it's just so fun to glitch up the surfaces and down the surfaces. Because usually if you walk against these surfaces, nothing happens. You know, you're just stuck. But the horse just goes up there without any reason. It's just so amazing. Like, something that I've actually never had before. Because I remember when I had that happen back then, for some reason I was so unlucky that it happened when the wind was still there, so my horse was just pushed back down, so I was never able to get that. It's not exactly the type of glitch that I had happen back then, so it's probably not the same thing, but it's very similar. It has the same results, so we can definitely say that even though it's not exactly the same, it is most definitely the same result from the glitch. So we actually did it. Like, it's amazing. I never thought this would happen so quickly. Like, a few days ago I recorded the glitch video and I was like, yeah, maybe it's gonna take a few months until I find this out. Yeah, okay, I don't know the specific glitch yet that allows me to do it on my own. But who cares if it works? You know, who cares? And it actually worked. Like, how? It's just perfect. I mean, I don't have to look for the specific glitch if this works anyways. So, I think this one is about 95% the same result. Just a little bit more luck is involved in it. But that's about it. Yeah, and the footage of how I pick up the items, that's gonna happen after I say goodbye. So, yeah, I hope you liked this video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up maybe. Maybe subscribe if you want to see more. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye!